I used to be a school teacher. I taught high school in the inner city of Los Angeles. I never really wanted to own my own business or anything like that, but I did want to be successful. I was approached by a school teacher, actually. We had a conversation about owning property. So I dove into that and did very well for about 8 years. Came to the end of that road around 2008, 2007, 2008. And, my world started turning upside down. I had a 2-year-old daughter at the time. I had switched professions after being off work for a year for her. So when I went back to the workforce, I went back as a probation officer. My property I started losing them one at a time. Thought I was gonna get married. That didn't happen. And I was living in a nice suburb area on the outskirts of Los Angeles. And life was great. And as everything started to crumble, I didn't really know what I was gonna do, how things were gonna change, but although I lost all these material things and I lost a lifestyle, I never lost faith. All these things can be taken from me and stripped from me, but you can't take that from me. So I didn't think that I was gonna stay where I was. I just didn't know how I was gonna climb out. After owning my own home and having 4 properties, 4 apartment buildings, having a substantial amount of money in the bank, not being really coached on what to do with my money. Your paycheck doesn't come with instructions, and no one was there to really guide me. I ended up losing everything and having to move back home to my mother's house in Compton. No one, no matter where you lived, you don't want to touch success and then have to go back home to your parents' house. And not going back home alone, I'm going back home with a 2-year-old. When the decision was made that my daughter's father and I were going to go our separate ways, I discovered that day that I owed the IRS $26,000 in back taxes. I also discovered that I was about $2.2 million in debt. I really didn't understand what was happening. It was a life-changing event was taking place, and I just didn't know. Later on that evening, about 7:30, I'm putting my daughter in a car, and I was prospected. A man walked up to me, sharp-dressed, and he said, "Do you keep your options open when it comes to making and saving money?" All I could think about is, you might get several opportunities in your life. You don't know if it's the first opportunity or the last opportunity. Within a few days, he and his wife were in my home. And I was very impressed at what I found. They educated me on financial concepts that I had no clue about. I joined the business that day. I wanted to be a part of the environment. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make my contribution. I had never really been a part of anything before. So for the first time in my life as an adult, I had a partnership with Primerica, and it was beautiful because it gave me purpose. Every decision I made was for Tonia and for my daughter, Tyler. So as I dove into this thing, I looked up and a year had gone by. All of a sudden, my part-time income started matching what I was making on my full-time job. I knew the income earning potential at Primerica. I knew what it could look like with hard work, with determination, with building a team, with getting better, with pouring into people. I knew what it could look like, and I was willing to do the work. In this business, I can never think that I've arrived. I can never think that I don't need to continue to get better. There's always another level. There's always something else I need to learn. There's always something else that I need to do for my team so they can expand their vision and they can grow. And so I just feel like everyone has a shot here. Everyone has an opportunity. I am so happy I made the decision to push forward. I'm so happy, not only for myself, but for my family, for my daughter, for my parents. I'm able to make a significant impact in all their lives. And most importantly, I'm able to help other people and have them do the same for their families.